You're absolutely not going to believe this, but almost everything I have that's really cool comes from oil. Okay, I didn't believe it either until something really weird happened. Everything I had that came from oil just disappeared.
She was beautiful. She was rich. She was popular. She had a car, but she was completely fuelless.
I mean, it was so depressing. All my friends at school were still looking totally great, and there I was, no makeup, a serious case of bedhead, and wearing like burlap. Hello, horror. And I'm sitting in science class and everybody's staring at me like I'm some sort of freak of nature, and I'm looking so pathetic. And then after class, my extremely cool science teacher, Miss Watkins, comes up to me and says,
Crystal, what's going on?
My mother named me Crystal after her two great passions, Dynasty reruns and expensive finger bowls. Miss Watkins, this is the worst day of my entire life. My hairdryer won't work. My makeup is gone, and so are my clothes. I opened the freezer to get a waffle, and everything is like melted. I went to start my car, and it was just totally dead. And when I took out my cell phone to call Daddy to come get me, it wouldn't work either. So I had to walk a whole 6 blocks to school. It really damaged my whole image. And Miss Watkins seemed to know exactly what had happened.
Crystal, it sounds to me like everything in your life that's made from oil is gone.
As if, Miss Watkins, I use oil-free makeup. And you're like seriously telling me that my clothes came out of an oil well?
Well, actually, Crystal, that's exactly what I'm saying.
And I'm thinking Miss Watkins probably needs a mind makeover or something.
Come with me.
She says, and she opens this book on her desk, and the next thing I know, we're in this, like, oil field. And she goes,
You probably think that oil only heats your house and runs your car.
and I go like, hello, where are we? And she says,
This is an oil field.
like she thinks I'm clueless or something. Miss Watkins, you must think I'm totally clueless.
Clueless isn't exactly the word that I had in mind, Crystal. What's abundantly clear is you are completely fuelless.
Life can be so cruel. Fuelless. You just cannot be cool. Fuelless. Cooless. Fuelless. Fuelless. She couldn't find her clothes. She couldn't wear her hose. She couldn't blot her nose. She was fuelless. The heat's so hard to take. I have the worst headache, but there's no pill to take. It's the rudest. Life can be so cool. Fuelless. Just cannot be cool. Fuelless. If you feel cool. Fuelless. Fuelless. Can't surf the internet. Can't ride a car or jet. Can't use your TV set if you're fuelless. Without some fuel, of course, there'd be no boxer shorts, no inline skates or sports, the need of ball or courts. Life can be so cruel. Fuelless. You just cannot be cool. Fuelless. If you feel coolest. Fuelless. 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 Life can be so cruel. Fuelless. You just cannot be cool. Fuelless. If you feel coolest. Fuelless.
As if, Miss Watkins. I mean, how exactly does oil get into my matte compact?
Well, just think about it a minute. The oil coming out of this oil well, comes from plant and animal remains which were buried beneath the Earth's surface millions of years ago.
Do you not find this information just the teeniest bit gross?
Gross? Are you kidding? Nature is elegant. You see, these remains broke down into chemical compounds of hydrogen and carbon, hydrocarbons, which make up oil and gas.
So oil is like natural?
Exactly, like diamonds.
Small amounts of oil that naturally bubbled up to the Earth's surface were used as far back as ancient times for jobs like lighting lamps. But it wasn't until 1859, when the first modern well was drilled, that the vast underground stores of oil could be tapped. This development gave birth to the industrial age. Machinery, cars, airplanes, all fueled by oil, improve the way that we live. Take food, for instance. Before oil was used to run farm machinery, most farmers had to use horses and mules to pull their plows. To produce just 1 bushel of corn took 74 minutes. But a farmer now can produce 45 bushels of corn in the same 74 minutes using gas and diesel-powered farm equipment. The roads we use to take the corn to market are paved with asphalt, which is a form of oil. And the chemical compounds used to make your plastic grocery bags, polymers, also come from oil.
Gee, I never thought of plastic as natural before.
And because of oil, we live a lot longer. In the early 1900s, the average life expectancy in America was just 47 years because so many people died from diseases like tuberculosis, diphtheria, even diarrhea.
Today, relatively few Americans die of these ailments because of petroleum-based medicines such as sulfa drugs, which help to conquer these diseases. The vitamins you take and many of the medicines you use contain chemical constituents of oil.
You mean I've actually swallowed processed hydrocarbons from plant and animal remains?
Clueless will return after this important message.
Every day, people dump the used motor oil in their backyards or down storm drains, thinking they'll never see it again. What they don't understand is that oil can soak down into the ground and contaminate lakes, streams, and oceans. Eventually, the oil may come back, only cleverly disguised as something else. Recycle your used motor oil. Call for a recycling center near you.
And now, back to Clueless.
You can only imagine how mortified I am at this point. Miss Watkins has taken me to an oil field, a cornfield, a grocery store, and a hospital without the slightest regard for the fact that I'm wearing a potato sack. So I go, okay, but you still haven't explained where my makeup and clothes went.
Well, that's easy.
And I'm thinking, here we go again. And the next thing I know, we're standing in front of these, oil tanks.
You see, crude oil, that's the oil that comes out of the ground, gets shipped to a petroleum refinery. At the refinery, crude oil is converted into products we can use, like gasoline, kerosene, and polymers.
How does that happen?
I thought you'd never ask.
Oh, no.
Crystal, I'd like you to meet Earl Rigg. He's responsible for the process which transforms hydrocarbons into the makeup you use.
If I'm really nice, Dan, can I get my makeup back?
No, Crystal. In this video, all you have to do is listen and understand. With a little bit of understanding and appreciation, you'll get your belongings back.
Crystal, the process we use to convert oil into materials used in products like cosmetics is called fractional distillation. Essentially, we take crude oil and we place it into a large crock pot, technically called a fractionating column, and then we cook it until it vaporizes. And as the vapors cool, they separate out into gasoline, into heating oil, into lubricating oil, and into wax.
This white glop, soon to become a football helmet, started out as oil. That's because when ethylene and propylene gases from the fractionating column are exposed to certain metals under high pressure and temperature, they turn into what we call polymers. You know them as plastics. Would you believe even some medicines come from oil? If you take benzene from the fractionating column, you can convert it to salicylic acid. Now, when you combine that with something called acetyl chloride, which is another byproduct of oil, you get aspirin. Cool chemical wizardry also makes oil part of the recipe for toothpaste, telephones, TV sets, skateboards, shampoo, computers, CDs, contact lenses, cars, credit cards, you name it.
Now let's get back to your makeup. Before oil, animal and vegetable fat were used to make lipstick, powders, blush, mascara, and other cosmetics like moisturizers. The problem is, fat-based cosmetics turn rancid.
Gross!
Today, oils and waxes made from crude oil at the refinery are used instead of fat.
I think I'm beginning to get it. But what about my clothes?
Okay, let's go shopping.
Now there's a concept.
Before the 1930s, stockings were made of silk, a very expensive commodity. Today, most of the stockings you buy are made with nylon, which comes from oil. And all these clothes, these blouses, slacks, these evening gowns, they all come from materials which are partly made from oil.
And I'm thinking something must really be wrong with me because I'm beginning to find this stuff sort of interesting.
And almost everything at this counter, the jewelry, the handbags, all come partly from oil-based materials. In our classroom, the laminate for our desks comes from oil. Oil generates the electricity that heats, cools, and lights our science lab, and that powers the factory where school supplies are made. And in our cafeteria, the plates, the cups, the straws, they all come from oil.
But then look what happens. We just throw that stuff away.
You're right. We sure don't want to pollute our water and use up our landfills with products from oil that could easily be reused. That's why it's so important to recycle plastics like our lunchroom cups, and to recycle used motor oil from your car, to drive cars that are tuned up and don't waste gas, and to share rides to school and work. Fortunately, the Earth isn't close to running out of oil anytime soon, but we need to be responsible about using what Mother Nature provides.
But then I remembered those oil spills I used to see on the news. That's responsible? What about oil spills?
Well, there's no fail-safe guarantee against oil spills, but there's a reason why you don't hear about them as much as you used to. Because stricter standards for oil tankers and the people who pilot them have been adopted. At the same time, the oil industry is developing new ways to deal with spills, such as using hydrocarbon-eating bacteria to purify polluted water.
Bacteria that can eat oil? You know, I think I get it now. You're right. Nature is just as elegant as Armani, who is a very important designer. And oil is like neat. Oh, wow! What just happened?
You've just gotten your things back, which means you truly understand and appreciate the value of oil and how useful it is.
So proud of it. Look, wait, there's
Really would. I think it's
Thank you.
Plastic balloons right there. Thanks so much.
Hey, Crystal. How's it going?
Incredible. Over 3/4 of the school have already pledged to recycle their plastics, aluminum cans, and paper.
And I arranged for the recycling company to come pick it all up once a week.
Amazing.
Besides that, over 60 people have signed up to recycle their used motor oil or double up to ride to school.
Did you realize that if 100 people doubled up to drive to school just 2 weeks a year, we would burn 500 fewer gallons of gas? That should reduce pollution, don't you think?
Definitely. You know, part of the price of progress has been paid by our environment, but we're reversing that trend. The air in America is getting cleaner and cleaner because, like you, we're all pitching in to clean up. Oil companies are developing and making fuels that burn more cleanly and efficiently. And car companies are making car engines that produce less pollution. Things have gotten so much better that it would take 20 new cars to produce the same amount of pollution as one 1960s model. Because of these efforts and new environmental laws, the air is getting cleaner. Lead in the air, for example, is down 96% since the mid-70s when you were born. Efforts like these enable us to continue doing the things that we enjoy, thanks to the products that oil provides.
Like getting my legs waxed.
That's something you enjoy.
I try to think of it as a wise investment in my natural resources.
What's clear, Crystal, is that a large part of our future lies in the hands of people like you, who really understand and appreciate the issues and who are willing to pitch in and help.
And I really got goosebumps when she said that because I knew that I could make a difference. And even if it means teaching all these gross, sweaty high school boys about recycling in the environment, it's really worth it.
Can't surf the internet. Can't ride a car or jet. Can't use your TV set if you're fuelless. Without some fuel, of course, there'd be no boxer shorts, no inline skates or sports that need a ball or courts.
Life can be so cruel. You just cannot be cool.